Hi, I'm Allison.
Hi, I'm Justin.
And you're listening to the Otterly Owlsome podcast. Who knows what we'll talk about?
Wish we had recorded that. What kind of meat was it?
He made bacon wrapped pork loin. He did venison and flake steak and chicken.
Nice.
It is all very good.
Very nice.
How do you cook it?
Before we ask you a question, Connor, we should probably introduce you. Welcome to the Otterly Owlsome podcast. Did I get that right, Allison?
Yes.
With Allison and Justin is the complete name. So welcome, Connor.
Thanks. It's an honor to be here.
You've been a frequent topic in past episodes, so Allison and I felt like we should probably show your face. If you were willing. I mean, we didn't make him do it.
Yeah, I think I'm willing.
Did we?
No, I'm here of my own free will, for anybody wondering.
Even better.
All bruises and marks are in places you can't see them. So.
And on
can I do a little introduction to the team or to the audience of however many, and then you can elaborate, Connor. Is that okay?
Sure.
So just be thinking about all the special things about yourself you want to share with the public. So Connor works with Allison and myself at a company that we try not to say the name of the company on the channel because we want it to be about the podcast, but we do work together. And Connor is a solutions consultant like myself. And Allison's a vice president. I almost said delivery manager. This is what you started off as. Yeah. But so we interact with Allison as part of our job. So like Connor and myself will work with Allison to look at stuff before it goes out the door for signature and stuff like that. But Connor's come up a bunch of times, and we like him as a person and as a colleague and as a human. And if you want to be an animal, Connor, we will accept that too. At least I will.
We have to do a spirit animal before we get off.
Spirit animal, yes, that's right. Thank you, Allison.
Yes.
Do you want to give him the background?
He knows. He watches us each week.
Of course.
Did he prepare? That's the question.
No.
I don't have a spirit animal prepared. I come up with a fly. Big fan of dolphins. I think they're a good mix of strong and fun. But there's also some accusations against dolphins that makes me a little hesitant to really cling on to the dolphin as my spirit animal. So
there are otters too, if that makes you feel any better.
Okay, it does. It does. I think dolphin is for the best with dolphin.
Aren't dolphins supposed to be really smart?
Yes, but that means they're also smart enough to knowingly commit atrocities for fun.
Oh, I know what you're referencing now. Okay.
Yep.
Yes. Well, humans are guilty of the same, so
I suppose.
Even worse.
I suppose. Not all dolphins. That's what I'll say.
Not your spirit dolphin.
Correct.
Yours are model citizen dolphins. I think that's a good choice. I could probably find some dolphin footage for the end.
There we go.
Do you know their sounds? I can't even say it out loud.
If you need inspiration, my brother ends every video that he edits for his main client with just a smattering of dolphin photos. Just 2 or 3 photos a second of random dolphins just sliding through, and just says, "Thanks for watching."
I actually watched it. I love the ending too. Yeah. What? That's the first non-terrestrial animal. It's our first aquatic animal, right? I guess otters are aquatic, so maybe not.
I'm the first fully aquatic spirit animal.
There we go.
Not surprised.
No arms and legs.
There you go.
Or wings. That'd be cool. A flying porpoise. Sorry, I'm just trying to smush our animals together. What can we take from an owl and from an otter and from a porpoise?
In your AI catalog item, do that?
Wait, no, what? And say it again?
In your AI catalog item, do that?
Ooh, why don't I do that while y'all two talk about something?
I feel like that would be a duck-billed platypus. It's got all the beak.
I'm on it.
If you combine 3 of any animal, and if you add enough animals to any combination of animals, you're eventually going to wind up with the duck-billed platypus. That's what I'm convinced of.
This is going to be so awesome.
Well, while you do that, Connor, how'd you get into what you do for a living?
Well, funny you ask. I knew I'd want to work with computers like for forever because I always liked being on computers, and growing up, adults always like to tell you when you're on a computer, like, oh, you're going to make, you can make so much money working on those computers. So I just sort of rolled with that. When I was actually searching for a job, I was like, well, what's something I've got experience in? And I'm very experienced in giving tech support to my parents who are older than many, and as a result have more opportunity to learn about how to use technology than many. And so one thing led to another, and I found a good fit working for our IT service desk. So spent some time taking calls for end users who needed random things, like either something small like a password reset or something big like the whole network is down. And conveniently enough, the service desk I worked at used ServiceNow for all their ticketing needs and others. So that let me dip my toes into what it was like using ServiceNow and gave me some real world experience so I could talk to customers about this is, so many customers come to us with so little in terms of documentation and process, and they have so much tribal knowledge that when they start looking for ServiceNow, they're like, yeah, we need a good ticketing tool. And I think my experience lets me show them how you're not just getting a ticketing tool here. Like, there's a lot that you're going to gather that's net new as a business when you jump into ServiceNow. And so my job, if I'm doing it right, is to show them all that they're going to be kind of taking on as part of their ServiceNow journey. How's that?
It's good, actually.
Special.
I kept getting distracted. You could pull me back in. So
I do what I can.
I'm just glad you don't email me anymore about buying ITSM from you.
Me too. Justin.
Connor was briefing sales.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. Well, that was how I learned how to talk to a customer and not just an end user.
Yeah.
At one point, we had some emails going out that were definitely automated because I never wrote these, but they were always signed by me. And
that was the best.
I didn't mind it at first. I was like, well, they didn't know that I didn't want that to happen. So then I made the powers that be aware that I didn't want that to happen. But then it kept happening. So then I stopped thinking it was funny. But I think it was just a glitch or something like that. We're all good now. They probably sign up with someone else's name now.
I haven't gotten one in a while, so
You sure you didn't mark them as spam?
maybe. I just started sending them to you.
Connor, we both got one last week from one of our sales colleagues calling us. Was it Deborah or something like that?
Yep.
Deborah, yeah.
Deborah.
All right, I got two pictures. You ready? That's as much as I'm gonna fool around. So, go to the right tab. Why don't I see this window? There we go. Hopefully I do this right. I can edit it out if I don't. Okay, so the first one, let's go to the first one, is this one. And I did this one as a fictional animal with characteristics from all different creatures.
Oh no.
Okay.
That's what I got.
This will look good. Oh.
I'm not sure where the otter is, but maybe the nose.
He's got otter eyes.
Maybe. Otter eyes. And then the second one I did, we'll put us all in an office. And I think that's this one. Did I click on the right? I think I clicked on the wrong one. Yep, I did. You can tell I use ServiceNow all the time. Let's see. There we go.
Oh. Looks like a crocodile.
What's going on there?
Aren't you in the middle? Or is that the owl?
I don't have a clue.
None of them is the owl, and none of them is the otter.
It's when Allison and I were setting up the podcast. I think we talked about this on episode 1 or 2. We tried so hard to get AI generated artwork with an owl and an otter, and it was just coming back with it was funny, but it wasn't really helpful. So,
And to be fair, I was expecting something way more grotesque, and these weren't bad at all. So
yeah, they're more like cartoony.
yeah. On this note, you want to hear something cool that I saw yesterday? Kind of related to this. So there was this like interactive museum downtown that we went to, and there was this little exhibit where it's really similar to your catalog item. Like you give it a prompt and it makes something of the prompt, but the way that it was set up was you're giving it a movie tagline, basically. Not a tagline, but I guess like a summary. So you might say like an action movie involving a shark and a sea turtle, and it's a anime style redemption movie or something. You put something like that, and then it produces 5 movie posters for your movie.
Ooh,
That's cool.
It was actually really cool. I think it was smart that they took something that could have been anything and they tweaked it to be like, they put kind of a box around it, and by needing to be a little specific, it just made for that much cooler of an application, I guess. The results were pretty horrendous. We did, let's see, my girlfriend just put escaping the fog, and it was just 5 different pictures of people walking away from fog. So that was boring. But then I did one that was like sea turtles, Revenge of the Sea Turtles, something. And it kicked back 5 photos of grotesquely misdrawn sea turtles. So it tried.
awesome. Have you ever seen where they take like current films and like put them to like a horror movie? Like they did it with Schitt's Creek one time, where it was like the trailer for the upcoming episode, but they made it about a horror movie.
A Christmas Story, if you've ever seen that, as the best example I've seen of that. It looks like there's a serial killer or something. It's just super intense, but it's all footage from a Christmas Story. They don't have to doctor it, really.
Was there a profit side of what you went to? Like, did they charge you, or could you get a printout and pay for it?
It was a museum called the WNDR. It's like all caps. There's one in Boston, I think one in Chicago. We got so many Instagram ads for it that there was no way that it wasn't going to happen at some point. There's a certain point where if I get enough Instagram ads for something and it's not something awful, I'm probably going to cave and buy it. Not proud.
Okay, all right. That there's a story there. What's the worst thing you've bought on Instagram?
Meatless frozen chicken nuggets. They used pea-based protein, and they weren't that bad. But it was also in the peak of COVID, so I may have just had taste buds that forgot what good food tastes like. Even then, I was like, well, these aren't bad. I wouldn't do it again, but they're not bad. So.
What's the worst thing you've bought on Instagram, Justin?
Zero. Okay, well, hold on. It was a Zero shoe, which was it was a sandal. I hated it. I tried to wear it. It was the worst thing I ever bought. But now I'm the proud owner of a Zero shoe that I actually do like. So the worst thing I bought ended up being something I actually liked, but the first one was horrible. But before you go away from me, I keep getting ads for ramen on Instagram, and it's like
ramen.
Yeah. You take this thing that's like 35 cents per package, and now they want to charge me like $60 a month to send me ramen. I'm like, no.
They have it at Fresh Market if you want to try it. You can buy one.
Okay.
Of it.
So you've got me ad too. It sounds like
I have. I've gotten that a lot because we do a lot of protein meals. But that one I saw at Fresh Market when I went in looking for something else. So.
But you didn't try it?
No, I was on a mission for finding dessert for David's birthday, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So,
Connor, for context, the Fresh Market is like an upscale grocery store down here in the South.
No, I'm familiar. We have something similar in Minnesota, the opposite of the South. You got me.
The North.
Yeah. So it's like, it's either Kodiak or Kodak cakes. They're like protein packed cakes. They sell, you get like a cylinder of Quaker Oats. You can get a cylinder of Kodiak or Kodak oats. And you like shake it up because there's like protein powder. And it's like, well, couldn't you just buy protein powder and add it to Quaker Oats? Couldn't you just do that to ramen?
True, yeah.
Well, the noodles, from what I've read, the ramen noodle and the protein noodle is different than.
Oh,
it's healthier.
Yeah.
But is it?
It's not. It's not
just protein powder sprayed on the brick.
Well, that yes, but the ramen, it's like something with the noodle. Too.
Oh, like a reeler or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's crickets or something, or ants.
Great source of protein, from what I hear.
That's what I heard. All right, Allison, it's your turn.
Let's see. I don't buy a lot on the ads, so I can tell you the worst thing David's ever bought because it never showed up.
That's not a good sign.
It's happened a couple times. So one was an automatic ball thrower for the dog. It never showed up. And then he saw a Christmas vacation, like RV, like Cousin Eddie's RV that lights up around Christmas, and it never showed up.
Yeah. That was like cool.
I don't know if I've ever bought anything bad off an ad from Instagram.
Do you guys have porch pirates where you live? No?
We live like down in a cul-de-sac and we work from home, so
You'd know.
yeah, I mean my new office is looking like literally at our front porch.
Yeah. And we all heard David's story about you doing the doorbell in Vegas. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Connor, before we hit record, you, not to call you out, but you strategically placed an item behind you.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if there's any story about that particular item. That I won't say what it is, just in case you want out of this.
Really. No, there's just clutter on the counter, and I wanted to cover it with that captain's hat that I got this weekend.
Just any old captain's hat, or?
It's actually like a subpar captain's hat, because the birthday boy got like a nice captain's hat that came with these like, they were kind of like straws that you'd use to like support the hat. So he got like the premium captain's hat, and the rest of us just wore these normie ones. I propped it up to make it sit a little higher though. His you didn't have to prop up though; it had little straws that you put into it.
I didn't know they made such things.
It was actually the way that he got tipped off to his own surprise party. His wife had pulled this off for weeks, and then the night before his surprise party, he comes out of his room and he's like, "Why'd you order so many hats?" She had ordered like a 12-pack of captain's hats and one nice captain's hat on their Amazon account, and he got the notification. I kind of wish I had been a fly in the wall for that. It's like, how do you answer that? Like, I hope that she tried to be slick about it. It was like, oh, well, I just in a hat mood. I don't know what you come up with.
I would have said I bought them for an elementary school and I was donating them.
That's good. He probably would have done that. Well, she didn't. He connected the dots and figured it out, but we had fun anyway.
So, Connor, what's the best free thing you've ever gotten?
Best free thing I've ever gotten is this.
That you found unexpectedly. Or you maybe found in your laundry room. The best wall art ever found.
Oh. One time. So I didn't find it. It's sort of me.
It found you.
I had a friend in town, and me and that friend and my dog went to the beach for just coffee in the morning. And we're sitting there watching the waves come in. And the neighborhood we were in, Pacific Beach, it's like a common spring break spot for like college kids. So we're sitting on the...
Did you say specific?
Pacific.
I was like, is it a specific
beach? No. Regular old Pacific Beach. And we're sitting on the bench watching the water. And this guy comes up to us. He's probably 25. He's like, excuse me. He's got a big garbage bag. And he's like, do you guys like beer? It's like 9 a.m. on a Thursday. We're like, yes. He goes, well, we were on vacation here. And my girlfriend thinks this is kind of weird. And he looks over and I see his girlfriend like hiding behind a corner. It's like, she thinks this is kind of weird, but we have to leave. We were here on vacation. We have a bunch of beer and we don't want to throw them away. Do you want them? And I bet there were 30 Coors Lights and Trulies and anything you could ever want in this trash bag that he just like gave us. That is the best thing I've ever gotten for free.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I've actually had that moment where it's time to go at a hotel or something. You're like, okay, we didn't drink it all. What do we do with it? So I know the feeling. Look at you.
Don't buy liquor until you get to the Airbnb, because oftentimes the last guest will leave a bunch of stuff in the fridge. And then you'll do the same thing when you leave. You pay it forward.
I've yet to do an Airbnb. So
Really?
yeah, I'd rather stay in a hotel.
I think the golden age of Airbnbs is over. It's no longer cheaper than a hotel. you've got more rules and I don't know. I'm not like anti Airbnb, but at this point, if it's the same price to go to a hotel where,
Oh yeah.
like
The only time I like it if there's a big group of us.
right, if you have a big group of friends, you want to like cook out in the backyard, Airbnb any day of the week. But if it's just like,
we use Vrbo more than we use Airbnb.
Sure. Do you find there's a difference?
I don't usually book it all. David does, and
Okay.
yeah, there's different. Usually, they're on both sites, so it's not like I literally just booked one earlier today, and it was on both sites. But I used Vrbo because we already have an account. So
It's a good enough reason.
Are the rules different? Like the Connor was referencing, like
it's
you have
up
to take
to
out the trash
host.
before you leave, and
They're always up to the host.
It's just up to the host. They're all different, but
okay.
Some hosts
but we read
I'll give you
before we go. Yeah.
some are very
Because most of them are like, if you can just put the trash outside and toss the towels in the washing machine. And I'm like, I can do that. Like, that's not a big deal. So,
Yeah. We could clean up after yourself, essentially.
yes. Yeah.
I'm surrounded by Airbnbs, so like if we watch them like clockwork, they arrive on Thursday, Friday evenings, they're gone by 9 a.m. on Sunday. And then the housekeeper, they all pull in, and it's just like all around the neighborhood every weekend. So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of nice, I guess, not having neighbors, but I'd rather stay in a hotel with all the amenities. And what do you call the little bar that has the expensive candy?
bar.
The what?
The mini bar.
Mini bar, yes. Sorry. When both of you talk, this thing is horrible for like understanding what either of you are saying.
I'll just stop talking.
No. You're the guest.
Here's a stupid minibar example.
Uh-oh.
So hotels, this is something that drives me nuts about hotels. If they don't have water, you have to go down to the gift shop and buy water from them. They won't always tell you that. One time we all got back from a wedding. We were staying at the same hotel as the bride and groom, so like you think that they'd know that we were, I don't know, all there. But someone at the front desk, like as we walk in, they're like, "Water, anyone? Water? Would you like water?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'd like water. I'll take two." And they put them on everyone's bill.
That's wrong.
I already am like, I shouldn't have to pay for water with how expensive a hotel is. I feel very privileged saying this. But if you're going to charge for water, don't like two-time us and make it seem as though you're just like doing a solid and giving out waters. There was a mini bar at the hotel that we had that seminar in recently. The mini bar only had 2 bottles of water in it. They were big and they're like nice metal refillable bottles for the environment. It like said so on the tag. It was $8 per bottle. So you better bring your own like hydro flask and find a water fountain in the hotel if you don't want to spend an extra $30 on water.
In Vegas, they're now like, if you even pick it up to look at it, it's all based on weight and it'll charge you.
Spooky.
Can you have a second thought and be like, no, I don't want it?
No, like you have to call the front desk and be like, I accidentally touched something. I didn't actually...
Which you're most likely not going to do if you're drunk and having a good time. You're not even know you accidentally touched it. Yeah. I think, Allison, you and I were talking about, we have in common, like when we get to a hotel, we usually go to Walgreens or somewhere and get
a big pack of water.
Smart.
From all the years of traveling, that was like my biggest thing is as soon as I got there, I'd either go to CVS or Walgreens and get my water, get a few like protein bars or whatever to have to take on site with me. And
pistachios. Walgreens always has tons of pistachios.
What's your go-to pistachio flavor if you get them flavored ever?
Salted.
Okay. Have you had any of the flavors?
No.
Good.
That would totally just landed as a dud. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay.
But Allison might have.
I don't eat pistachios. So.
Apparently, the lady so it's like a family that owns, Wonderful. That's like the pistachio brand. Mm-hmm. I guess the like matriarch of the family is like nuts. Like at one point, she required that like all the laborers who are actually like in the fields picking pistachios, they attend like a 1-hour yoga session of hers and are still expected to pick as many pistachios. that day. It's absurd. I hate that I support that company because apparently they're terrible.
Force yoga that doesn't.
It's like an oxymoron.
Oh man, are either of you getting pinged for another meeting?
Yeah, I have a one-on-one I have to go to.
I heard that. Okay. Well, thank you, Connor, for being our second guest
Yeah.
of all time. And we hope to have you back. At least I do. I don't know about Allison.
No.
No, I want you back.
Cool.
And there's an NSYNC song. I think it's
Isn't
NSYNC.
that Backstreet Boys?
Is it Backstreet Boys? Okay, I get my boy bands confused.
Those two are in my life. Cool. I'm looking forward to the next one. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Bye.
Talk soon.